So just summarising what Bobby Elliott would say, and this is my version of what Bobby Elliott is saying, I guess. Assessment 1.0, the task is given to the students. They're expected to do it alone. They're expected to give you a descriptive text-based response, usually closed book. I know some people have open book, but the majority of them are closed book. They're usually done in restricted time periods, and normally the teacher is the one who makes the judgment about the assessment. And what Bobby Elliott has been saying is we should move much more towards negotiated tasks with students where they're done collaboratively. And collaborative doesn't mean that the students necessarily have to work together. Collaborative can also mean they can work with other people outside the class. It can be not just other students, it could be other professionals, it could be people from another country, another university, right? Anywhere where you can work together on something, where you actually get them to do much deeper activities because you give them tools and resources to be able to use. Open up the types of responses that students can give, make them more open-ended, give them access to resources. Why do all of this? Because you need to, if you do this, you will need to change the type of question that you ask students. You wouldn't ask them the same sort of questions that we ask at the moment. There's no point. So I'm going to finish up here because I know you might want to ask some questions of either of us, or me. Why do I get interested in scenario-based learning? We're interested in anything that gives you these sort of distributed environments where students are given options and choices and how you might then assess inside that environment. We're not just looking at scenario-based stuff, we're also looking at Second Life, so virtual worlds. We're looking at how you would actually assess students inside a virtual world, and there's not very many people who are doing it. Recently we've been trying out the Sloodle quiz chair. For any of you know about Moodle, you can get Sloodle, which is Second Life married up to Moodle. So they talk to each other, and you can use some of the features inside Moodle, inside Second Life. And you literally have a chair. That's what this thing is here. At the moment, that's the construct, that's the prim, for those of you who work in Second Life. And this is your avatar, and your avatar actually sits on the chair. And when you sit on the chair, then you actually get an assessment task that pops up, and you can do things inside that. It's very restricted in terms of what it will do at the moment. So it's very early days for this. But it's an interesting concept of how do you get students in these sort of environments to be able to go around and do tasks where you actually capture what it is that they're doing inside those environments. So if you go to our website soon, we'll give open access or more open access to our Second Life island, because we've got an island in Second Life called Transforming Assessment. You'll see that's a common theme amongst all of this. It's a closed island at the moment because we're just building. But we're starting to use some of these tools inside there. What I would like to do now is just bring up my first example of a scenario-based learning. I am not going to put this up as an example of the state of the art with scenario-based learning. I didn't know anything about scenario-based learning until the end of last year. I knew it in principle, right? I put the static slide up when I'd given my talks on e-assessment as one of the things you do, but I never actually tried it myself. So I thought one of the things I should do is just try and build one of these things myself, because even though I'm not going to spend all my life writing scenarios, I wanted to see if you're a real live academic and you had to sit down and do this yourself, was it intuitive? How much time did it take you to knock something up? And then what did it look like afterwards? And then, of course, what I was interested in is how would I assess participants inside this environment? What I was interested in doing is what could you incorporate inside the scenario-based learning activity to make it more interactive? Because we've been using a lot of interactive tools inside Moodle or inside Blackboard, so that we would give students access to tools where they could generate some results and then interrogate those results. And I was interested in seeing whether you could do the same sort of thing in scenario-based learning. So what we're going to do when this comes up is just give you a really quick view of some links that we put in there, what that goes out to, and then where we tried to put some JavaScript inside one of the fields inside scenario-based learning, because the Java, I just copied and pasted. I'm not a coding person, right? So I know nothing about coding. So I just go and look to find what other people have done and then just copy and paste it into, just like the students would do, copy and paste it into what I want to do. And I was interested in an interactive tool. So if we start here, what I was really interested in doing is seeing whether we can incorporate some of the things that we'd already done. So here, this is about just putting an image inside there and getting the students to then respond to that. That's not really all that interesting. This is the example, no, hang on, this is the example that we did where we put a JavaScript inside. So this is actually an interactive tool that's sitting inside scenario-based learning. So what students could do here is actually enter data, right, into this. They click that and it gives them some values that come out there. So this is just working out blood alcohol concentration. It doesn't actually matter what the example is, but it's just showing you how you can take something which allows students to be able to generate some results inside one of these scenarios and then get them to interrogate those results that they did. When you do that, you can ask much more interesting questions and much more sophisticated questions of students. You can get them to go out and click on other links. Some of these, actually this one here, the links here go off to a web page. This is again from my chemistry background. I won't go through all this with you, but the student can click on that link. It opens up a second window where the student can actually draw structures, chemical structures on the web. They could then type some results from interrogating those structures, so looking at physical properties or biological properties, which is what this one does, and then you could ask questions related to that inside the scenario-based learning activity. What that also means is you can get different responses from different students, because you can set them different values for things inside the scenarios that you've got here. So you're not necessarily getting the same response from every student. That's what we've been trying to look at, is how do you, in the online environment, how do you encourage students to give diverse responses, some of which can be marked automatically and some of which are going to be marked by the teacher. So I think I'll probably finish there. I think I've probably said enough. I've got the general idea. So thank you.